Well, go on, everybody. Lennox here from Simple123 Trader. This is the weekly playbook outlook for September 5th to 10th. Hope everybody's doing well and are safe. Taking a look at what's setting up for this week in the futures markets for all the currencies and indices, also including gold and Bitcoin. Let's take a look first at Aussie dollar. And again, starting off on the weekly and looking at what we're seeing overall. We had head and shoulders, just rehashing what we've seen. Neckline, then we have this move to the downside. Now we're having to move back up. Are we ready to continue to the upside? I do not think so. I think this is just a push back, maybe back to this level, to the level of the neckline, and then a continuation back down towards support. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing overall. So I'm looking for a continued move down. Now, this is on the weekly, so we're looking bar by bar on the weekly. So bar by bar, we could have one more push going into this week. So let's take a look on the daily. And you can see, as you can see on the daily, we indeed are looking good for a push to the upside. Of course, a little pullback first, maybe, and then another push to the upside. So we're looking to challenge this area upcoming during the week. So a little bit of strength in Aussie going into this week. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin on the weekly. And see if I can get Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Okay, so almost similar setup to Aussie. Head and shoulders, big drop down to this level. Now the big bounce. Are we going to continue to the upside? I do not think so. I think we've come to a point where we're probably very close towards the neckline area here, and we'd be more than likely now going to see a retrace of this move over time. So coming closer on the daily, what do we have? That nice strong move up. And again, we could come up a little higher. We could come up into this area, a little bit more push up into close to 55,000. And then all bets are off. I think we're going to be heading back down. So short term, up, but over the course of the week, we could see a pullback in Bitcoin once we've hit 55,000 area. Okay, taking a look at crude oil. Taking a look at crude oil. It's going to switch for me. Yes, it does. Okay, on the weekly, crude oil did valiantly try to break to new highs, could not do it, had a pullback, and now is trying again to push to the upside. So on the daily, let's see for the week here, looks like we're going to push up a little bit, and maybe we're done. Maybe we're done this move to the upside, and we're more than likely going to have a pullback in crude oil for the remainder of the week. So looking for a little bit of weakness in crude oil going into this week. Okay, the US dollar on the weekly, US dollar. What we're seeing here, we've come to a level where we've gone up and down, up again. Now we're heading back to the downside. So continued weakness in US dollar going into this week is what I'm seeing overall, and it's looking like so. So any pullback to the upside would be an opportunity to just sell U.S. dollar. Okay, so weakness in U.S. dollar for the remainder of the week is what I'm calling for. The euro on the weekly, euro has reached a support area and is now pushing back to the upside. So this will all depend, of course, on what the US dollar. So if we saw US dollar, and just go back to US dollar, if we saw US dollar weakness, then euro will be strength. So we're going to look for strength in euro to the upside, and you can see that's already starting. So looking for any pullback opportunities to buy euro to the upside. Okay, So strength in the euro. The Swiss franc on the weekly. Swiss franc will be doing similar to what the US dollar is doing. So on the weekly, I would see further continuation of this move to the downside. On the daily, let's see how it's going to play out. And it is looking indeed like we're going to come back down towards the support area, maybe going through before the week is out. So weakness in the Swiss franc. Looking at gold on the weekly, gold also reached a support area and is pushed back. Is it going to continue to the upside? Let's take a closer look at that. On the daily, it's pushing still with strength to the upside, but we are at a resistance. So we could see some hesitation here and possible pullback in gold. Just maybe a complete retrace of this move could occur. So short-term hesitation, but maybe pull back over the longer term during the week. Japanese yen on the weekly. We have reached the support area, and we're bouncing and looking. We look to see this go to the upside. However, let's see if that's so. On the daily, we're kind of sideways here. You can see that we're sort of chopping sideways inside this channel. So it's trying, but we could see another weak move to the downside before we breach our break above these levels. So looking for a little bit of weakness in Japanese yen to start off the week at least. The New Zealand dollar should be similar to what the Aussie has done. Same kind of head and shoulders, neckline, coming up to the neckline. And let's see, on the daily, we should be pushing through. And we are. So what I'm seeing here is that push, any pullback opportunities to buy, okay, for the New Zealand dollar. Take a look at the Mexican peso on the weekly. You can see that from last week, what I called was a move back towards the resistance, and now it's trying hard to push through. Is it going to breach? You can see how many times this has tried. It's been quite a battle, and it just has not been able to break through. But I think this is the week that it's going to do it. We might get a pullback first, but we will more than likely breach these highs and head to the upside for the Mexican peso. Okay. Let's take a look at the British pound on the weekly. It too is trying to push back to the upside and looking very strong at this moment in time. So I'm going to say yes to continued strength in British pound. Of course, any pullback opportunities to buy British pound to the upside. Okay, and silver on the weekly has come all the way back down to support and is now bouncing off the support levels to the upside. Does it have enough strength to continue? It looks like we are doing so. So I would look for continued strength. Any pullback opportunities to buy silver the upside. Okay, and looking at the Russell 2000, US 2000 Russell on the weekly, and we have Russell 2000 also trying, similar to what the Mexican peso is doing, trying to push back and to break above the previous highs, and it's been struggling for the last week or so, but it's trying very hard right now to come back up to these levels and break through these previous highs. Will it do it this week? It is totally possible that it could at least challenge these highs anyways. In the short, so any pullback opportunities to buy the Russell 2000. The US 30, a little different, very strong still trying to push to the highs. Did break some records this week again, but it still needs to breach this high, and it looks like it's going to do that this week. So any pullback in the US 30 is an opportunity for buying to the upside. US 500 would probably be the same. See the US S&P 500, similar type of dance on the, this is on the daily, on the weekly, still pushing. You can see these bars are getting very tiny, but it's still pushing, trying to get to new highs. And we could see another breach of the highs this week, but very caution still at this point in time. The US technology sector, very strong. That's been the catalyst for the markets. And on the weekly, you can see it's just continually pushing to the upside. However, the bars are getting very small. We could see another record high this week again, but again, caution now. I'm really looking at cautionary tail here because we are way up there on this chart, and it's um, it's almost a 90-degree move from these levels. Here's 90 degrees and we're probably like 85 or so. So what goes up must sooner or later come down. So be aware of that factor and take into consideration that when you're looking at these charts. All right, so that's what's setting up for this week. Keep your eyes on the US dollar if you're playing the majors. Profitable trading to everyone. Be safe. We're done now. Thank you.